Hello friends, this is Dr. Kishore Kumar. Today I am going to discuss about the plasmid. So as we are all know about the plasmid is an extranuclear material that is present in bacteria. So if you take in bacteria, there will be a bacterial chromosome or bacterial main material, DNA material that is also be present. In addition to that, this is to be extranuclear material that is present in bacteria. And if you see this, initially this was like this plasmid only present in prokaryotes, but the recent studies which have shown that disease can also be present in eukaryotes like fungi and even certain plants. So this is a very small circular double-stranded DNA, and this can having a very very less number of genes, and these are important for the bacterial survival during an typical conditions, right? So friends, this is very important to understand about the plasmids. So in this particular session, I'm going to discuss about the basic introduction of plasmid, and where I'll discuss about the certain properties which are associated with these plasmids. And second one is I'm trying to give in its a structure. So what are the different regions that are present in this uh, plasmid, and I also be give the different type of plasmids, and even how this plasmid is transferred from one bacteria to other bacteria, that is like in a mode of transfer, which is I'm also be going to discuss here. And in a brief manner, I'll also be trying to discuss about the replication of plasmid, and then finally the applications of this plasmid, because this plasmid will have an enormous applications in the field of life sciences. So definitely we should try to understand their significance also. So friends, let's start the basic discussion. So the plasmid, as I discussed, this is an small circular extra chromosomal DNA molecule that can present in addition to the main bacterial chromosome. And this was known to the population with the help of the scientific discovery by the Lederberg in 1952. For his discovery of this plasmid, even he got Nobel Prize, because this plasmid should have an n number of applications in a field of life science. So this plasmid, if you see the basic characters, this plasmid should replicate independently. So if any chromosome or any DNA which is replicating independently, so definitely it should have the origin of origin region that anyway we are going to discuss in the structure of the plasmid. And if you see the copy number is nothing but this is how many number of plasmids that are present in a bacteria is called copy number. And this copy number may change in individual, and that is from single, or that is from 1 to even 100 numbers, right? This is depending on the bacterial and their conditions. And definitely the bacteria genes can be transferred in a horizontal manner within the population of other bacteria, right? And you can see try to analyze the base pairs, which are like a 1 kilo base pairs to the several million base pairs that can be size of this bacteria, the size of the bacterial plasmid which can be present. So as I discussed, this is not only present in bacteria, which can also be present in certain eukaryotes like fungi and plants, even the archaea also, right? These are all few important features which are associated with these plasmids, bacterial plasmids. And if you see the structure of the plasmid, this is very important, because here you try to understand the different regions which are present in the plasmid, because these are the reasons which are important for the application oriented, or by basing on these different regions only, we are trying to construct this plasmid according to our modifications, and we are using in a RDNA technologies. right? So if you see the structure of the plasmid, the first important point you should remember here is this is origin of replication, right? The origin of replication is nothing but this we'll call RSC in eukaryotes. The origin of replication, because that is the sequence of DNA which directs the initiation of plasmid replication. So exactly the replication machinery of the bacteria that can try to contact with this origin of replication, and it will start the process of replication, right? So because of this only, the plasmid replication is independently, which is not depending on the male chromosome. That is called origin of replication. And the second important region is, we call this is antibiotic resistant region. So the antibiotic resistant region, because this is a very important region that can carry a different number of genes, the genes will ultimately give a resistance to the bacteria in an antibiotic medias, or in a drug resistance. Altogether, we call in a drug resistance. The drug resistance, even certain times, we also call it as this is like a heavy metal resistance. The heavy metal resistance, even antibiotic resistance, the genes can be present in a certain part of the this plasmid we call antibiotic resistant gene. After this, there is one more region, this we call selectable marker region. So this selectable marker region, which is very important for us to be application orientation. So where, for suppose if we are inserting in a new DNA and we want to be select that inserted plasmid, definitely the selectable marker which is to be important, and that can be present in the plasmid region. And apart from that, the promoter, its own promoter that can be present, because this is the place where exactly the RNA polymerase will bind and will start for the replication of the plasmid. And not only this, even the inserted part, this is to be highly modifiable part, because this is to be generally which are not important for the bacteria. So we can take it off and we will insert our own uh, gene, so that the own gene can be propagated or can be amplified with the help of this particular region, that is called inserted gene region. And along with this, the restriction sites can also be present, which are important for the uh, cloning of multiple genes, right? So altogether, you just remember only the certain portion of the plasmid is only important for the bacteria, and other portion is not that much important for the bacterial. So we will try to manipulate the other portion which is not required for the plasmid, and where we will insert our foreign DNA, and we are trying to use for the application of recombinant DNA technology, right? That's all about the different regions of the plasmid. And now coming to the types of the plasmid. Definitely, this can be on based of what is the function of the plasmid. Majorly, it can do the depending on the significance. This can be classified into 6 different varieties. All right. So the first one we call F plasmid, which is very important. F plasmid. F plasmid, that is having a gene. That gene we call tragene, right? Tragene that can be present in F plasmid, which is important for the conjugation. So what do you mean by conjugation? Conjugation is one of the mode of plasmid transfer method, where the physical attachment is compulsory, which is to be based on this tragene, right? This is involved for the transfer of the plasmid. So second one is to one type we call R plasmid. The R plasmid, which is having genes that are resistant to the antibiotic or certain heavy metals, right? The antibiotic genes which can carry the plasmid, we call the plasmids are resistance plasmids or R plasmids. And third one we call call plasmids. Call plasmids are nothing but these plasmids especially code for the certain genes. The genes will code for a proteins we call bacteriocins, right? This you can see here, the bacteriocins. Bacteriocins are nothing but These are the proteins that can kill other bacteria. So this is important during the survival of the bacteria, because if you take the nutrients medium where enough amount of nutrients that can be present, then each and every bacteria that can share. But if the nutrients are going to be limiting, then definitely this is like a survival of fittest. So certain bacteria will produce this bacteriocin, and that will kill the surrounding bacteria and try to utilize only the few nutrients by these bacteria. So this is like bacteriocin proteins which will majorly involved for the killing of other bacteria. So the genes containing this bacteriocin we call plasmids. And the fourth one is degradative plasmid or diplasmid, where this is to be involved for the digestion of unusual substances like toluene and salicylic acid or salic acid. So because exclusively this is important for the bacteria which are growing in a hydrocarbon polluted areas. So even hydrocarbon polluted areas, the plasmid which should require, it's a carbon source majorly on this toluene and sialic acids. So especially in that particular place, the genes will be present in this particular plasmid. We call degradative plasmids. And the fifth one is virulence plasmid, because this virulence plasmid should have the genes. These genes will convert the bacteria into pathogenic bacteria, right? So that can carry the virulence genes. So because of virulence gene, it can be converting into the pathogenic bacteria, virulence to the non-virulence to the virulence bacteria. And the last one is we call a suicide plasmid. So suicide plasmid, which is nothing but it can be transferred from one bacteria to other bacteria, and where it can be stopped. It can further cannot to be replicated. So whenever this is to be transferring one copy, it has to be replicated, and the replicated copy has to be transferred into the other bacteria. So here the suicide plasmid, it is transferred, but there is no replication. So that is a dead end process. So that type of plasmids we call the suicidal plasmids. All right. Now coming to the next aspects of this particular session, that is mode of transfer. The mode of transfer, that can be, the plasmid can be transferred in 3 different modes. All right. First one we call transformation, second one is conjugation, third one is transduction. So these are 3 different modes from which the plasmid can be entered into the other bacteria, right? So here I'm not going to give a deep mechanism what exactly which is involving, and about that the mechanism, the mechanical aspects of this particular plasmid transfers. I'll try to do the other video, then there I'll explain only the mechanism. So this is like in a simple way which I'm going to be explained. So these are the 3 different transfer mechanisms. The first one you can see, this is a transformation. So the transformation where exactly we will prepare the competent bacteria. What do you mean by competent bacteria? Competent bacteria is the one which is ready to take the any plasmid from the media, right? That can be achieved with different modes. So finally, we will prepare the competent bacteria. Anyway, that whole thing which I'm not going to discuss here. So this is like which are ready to accept the extracellular plasmid. This is how the plasmid can be introduced into the bacteria. And the second mode is the conjugation. Conjugation mode, definitely this is the contact of cell to cell is to be compulsory. So this is a physical contact. So if you see all other 2 modes where there is no need to physically contact, but here the physical contact is compulsory. So here the donor bacteria will donate the plasmid to the recipient bacteria, right? So this type of plasmid we call F plasmid, that we already discussed in the previous slide. And the third mode of transfer is called transduction. So transduction is like a virus mediated transfer of plasmid. So the virus exclusively, this is bacteriophages. Bacteriophages are the viruses that can be only attacked with the other bacteria. So they can kill the other bacteria. So where initially it can be attacking with the bacteria, from where it can take the plasmid and it is infecting with another bacteria, definitely where that can be released its plasmid, and the plasmid can enter into the other bacteria. So this is how it can be done in the transduction with the help of virus. So there will be two mechanisms which can be present in transduction, that we call a generalized transduction. You can see here the generalized transduction and specialized transduction, right? This you should remember. So these are all three different modes that are available for the plasmid, which can transfer from one bacteria to the other bacteria. Right, this is coming to the replication. So the replication of plasmid, we generally call this is to be on. So this replication we generally call the rolling circle replication, which is exclusive to this plasmid replication. Right. So you should remember that the replication is always to be autonomous, because they have their own replication origin. So there is a special region which I explained in the structure of the plasmid, that is called a replication region. So that is called Orisi region. So because of the region only, the plasmid replication is to be autonomous, which is not dependent on the plasmid chromosome, right? Which are not dependent on the bacterial chromosome. So, but here the machinery which we'll use for this replication is definitely which can taken from the bacterial chromosome replication, right? Chromosome replication machinery. So this we generally call as a rolling circle replication. The rolling circle replication, which is exactly like a bacterial chromosome chromosome replication machinery, which will be involved in this type of replication, which can be an bidirectional, and there will be an intermediate that can be present, that we call theta intermediate, right? Theta intermediate that can be existing in the plasmid replication, altogether we'll call rolling circle replication. You should be remember, in the main chromosome, that we generally call it as, which is in semi-continuous replication, right? So this is a rolling circle replication. So in this rolling circle replication, because anyway I'm not going to discuss the each and everything, you should be remember this can be important because of the origin region, and there will be other proteins which are involved, that is called single stranded binding proteins, and even the all nitrogen bases, everything, even the polymerase, that everything should be required like in bacterial chromosome. Clear? Done. So here you should be remember only the rolling circle replication. Fine. All right. That's all related with this different kinds. So different properties of plasmids. So finally, I'm going to conclude here. So this is with the significance, because why we are especially important to know about all this, the replication part and the structural part and the different types, because this is important. You should be understand about their significance. If you know the significance, definitely this will be important. First one is the genes carried by the plasma that can be important for the giving an antibiotic resistance, even heavy metal resistance, right? This is important. So that is a survival mechanism which is added advantage to the bacteria, so that this will be very important for the bacteria. And second one is the provide bacteria with an ability to fix nitrogen. So nitrogen fixation can also be done, the nitrogen fixation genes that can also be present in a plasmid, so that which is important for the nitrogen fixation. So even the third most important application, which is the recombinant DNA technology. So this will call rDNA technology. In a rDNA technology, there are a number of applications which are involved for this use of plasmids, right? So first one, you can see the cloning of genes and protein production. This will call protein expression studies. Even gene therapies also we are using this plasmids, and to treating genetic diseases are creating genetic disease models also, which will be very important. And we are also making vaccines, that is DNA-based vaccines. So these are all comes under the recombinant DNA technology, where exactly the plasmid is the center point, which will be important for this application orientation. So friends, so in this particular session, we discussed about the basic properties of the plasmid and their significances, the regions which are important, and we discussed about the basic about the different type of the plasmids and their significance, right? Even the mode of transfers, even the replication, that the rolling circle replication also I discussed here. But everything is not to be in a mechanistic manner. So you should be understand this, the basic concepts of plasmid, which is important for the application when we are discussing on a recombinant DNA technology. So you should have an idea that what are the different regions that can be present. So friends, this is all for today's session, and we'll meet you in the next class. Take care. Bye bye.